JP Modger here at Albert Park, where we've just finished witnessing the first practice session of the 2012 season. Here alongside me is Modger. Welcome to Melbourne. How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. The first practice session was pretty good, and right now we've got the V8 supercars on. So
yes, it is a lot noisier compared to what our standard podcast would be, but it's quite exciting here. Got all the rev heads out in action, and Albert Park's a beautiful place to watch motorsport, isn't it?
yeah, it's really nice. I really hope this stays here for many, many more years to come.
Alright, now let's get down to business. We had the privilege of being the first of the year in the world to get to see these cars in action for the first time in 2012. Now, as we discussed in our prior podcast, there were some pretty funky looking shapes out there. Now, not all the cars have the same sort of look though. Now, obviously I'm referring to the platypus nose or the step down nose or whatever you want to call it. But something you pointed out to me was that McLaren do not have the step down nose, and well, how'd that pan out for them?
Yeah, well, they've been working on this concept apparently for a few years now, and they've figured out a way to get the nose that looks good but still be within the FIA regulations, and be legal to go out on the track. And performance-wise, well, it got them the first two spots in P1. It might be a bit early to judge, considering that practice sessions is just a time to see what the engineers playing around with their cars and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, P1 is often not a lot to go by. Often we'll see a team go well in P1 but sort of fade away as other teams start to catch up a little bit, I guess. But as you said, McLaren, the early front runners, Jenson Button, who set a time of, I believe it's 1:27.5?
Yeah, 1:27.56.
1:56, and then Lewis Hamilton trailing quite close to time. 27.8, fair enough. And those are accurate statistics, I'm led to believe.
Yes, they are extremely accurate off the Formula 1 website.
Okay, there we go. Sourcing our material, which is a safe plan, I guess. And in third place was Michael Schumacher, which is good. So all Mercedes at the front at the moment.
Yeah, Schumacher got a 1:28.235, I believe. So first three all Mercedes engines.
Well, if you have the results there, you can just quickly run through the top 10, I guess, for the viewers listeners at home.
Yeah, sure. Button, Button first, Hamilton second, Schumacher third, like we said. They've got Alonso with a 1:28.36, then Mark Webber in P5 with a 1:28.4, then Nico Rosberg in his Mercedes in 6th, Daniel Ricciardo in 7th, pretty good effort by him, 1:28.9, still, a pretty decent gap from the front runners, but still very good effort. Pastor Maldonado in the Williams in 8th, Kimi Raikkonen in 9th in his Lotus Renault at 1:29.56. Sorry, his Lotus F1 car. Whatever you want to say. Kamui Kobayashi in 10th in his Sauber Ferrari with a 1:29.7. And then that is top 10.
That's the top 10.
And I'm sure you might notice that Vettel is out of the top 10. He finished 11th with a 1:29.79.
Now, just being on the side of the track, it is quite hard to tell why a car might not be putting in the times they are. One would suggest perhaps trying to configure the car to run with a heavier fuel load, and just trying to get a bit more data with that. I couldn't imagine it's a car problem. Mark Webber up in 5th, which is, it's a slow start for Red Bull, but probably not a lot to worry about, you think?
No, definitely not a lot to worry about. I mean, I never look too closely into practice sessions. Because I think it's just for a time for the team to try out new things.
Yeah, for sure. Now the cars obviously sound a lot different this year.
Actually, before we move on to that, I might add Felipe Massa going harshly going back to his old ways, you say.
Yeah,
he finished 18th his best time, or 1:30.7.
Yep.
He had a bit of bad luck, I think, around turn 9,
turn
11,
turn
somewhere
9.
around there. I think, just a pretty standard incident, a bit of a rookie error. I think he just sort of got his a couple of tyres on the side of the truck and just had a bit of a spin.
It's quite funny that you said bad luck, because it certainly wasn't bad luck. Like you said, something that we saw Rubens Barrichello do here at Albert Park, just drifting off the line sort of carelessly, and that's moving in for the turn. Obviously no traction on that left side of the car. It's something that I guess we could characterise with people that are just up and coming or are just on their way out.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I mean, you see all these experienced drivers such as Rubens Barrichello and Felipe Massa making all these amateur errors. Usually a sign of their way out, as we've seen with Rubens Barrichello. He had a lot of rookie errors, would you say, and now he's out of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we'll give him a little bit more time, I guess, to prove us wrong, and hopefully he does for Felipe's sake. Now, as I was going to move on to, I was going to talk a little bit about the sound of the cars, which is something that is a major crowd drawer. We're down here in South Melbourne, which is probably about 10 minutes away from the CBD, which we are staying in pretty much just outside. And you can hear the F1 cars from that distance away. Obviously we're here for the F1, but you can hear a 92-seater going around from the city, so it just reverberates through the city. It's such a powerful noise. And this year, don't really get that real distorted sound under braking, obviously not considering all those blown diffusers and banned. It's a bit more of a traditional sound.
Yeah, it is more of a traditional sound. I didn't think it would sound quite like this, but I think obviously some cars do sound a little bit different to others. During P1, I thought my favourite sounding car on the track was McLaren Mercedes. I really like the sound of their cars, but like you mentioned, no exhaust blown diffuser stuff, and obviously that mends the noise of the car quite a bit.
Yeah, right. It was a partially rain interrupted session. The track was kind of damp to start with, and a lot of teams had to run their installation laps on wets or intermediates, which, I guess it took a while for things to get going, and I think teams will be disappointed with that session as far as data is concerned. I don't think they would have gained a lot from that. But there is another chance later this afternoon if the rain holds off, which... I mean, we look at the sky right now, Modger, and it looks alright, but it is forecast for more rain. Particularly tomorrow, there is meant to be a little bit more rain, and it's Melbourne, and anything can happen as far as the weather is concerned. Now, in case you're wondering, there will be some video footage of today. Don't expect anything too professional. It's just pretty much our perspective of the day. And what we got to see, and so you get a chance to see the cars for yourself in action, and get to hear them, just get a real gritty experience of what we were able to see. That will be hopefully we'll get that up in like 4 or 5 hours time once we're done for the day. So stay tuned for that. Keep having a look, and if you haven't seen it, have a look at the Sebastian Vettel video.
We were really up close to the autograph stage. Getting a bit chummy, nearly rubbing shoulders with Sebastian Vettel. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's good, and that's part of the attraction of the event, I guess. Getting up close and personal, and he's a real champ as far as pleasing his fans are concerned. Nearly just got run over.
We did. Ruthless. Alright, we will be back delivering another on-site podcast tomorrow, in which we'll probably upload sometime after P3, so we'll give you the P2 and 3 results. But as far as today is concerned, that is all. And so we'll see you on behalf of JP Modger. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you later.